I was 28 years old, solo camping in a local woodland with my beagle Reggie, only realizing I wasn't as solo as I thought. It was November. The weather was still mildly warm during the day, but at night it would get cold, so I came prepared. I hiked from my truck about a mile into the forest until I was near enough to the lake. I set up my campsite in a comfortable little opening. I brought Reggie along with me to the lake to go fishing. I caught a couple of smaller fish that weren't really worth cooking. Reggie kept looking into the forest at something, his tail stopping as if he locked onto something. When we were directly across the lake from our campsite, I looked over and saw what looked like a couple of people walking into the woods. When we got back to the campsite, my tent zipper was open. Someone had gone through it, but nothing appeared to be missing. To be safe, I spent the next hour moving my campsite to a different spot further up the lake. Later, as I was writing in my journal by the fire, Reggie started barking at something in the forest. I brought Reggie inside the tent and put out the fire. If there were people out there, I didn't want to advertise my location. I climbed into the sleeping bag, and with my reading light next to me, I was reading my novel. Reggie's ears kept twitching as he heard things I couldn't. Reggie started growling. He heard something out there. It could have been a deer, a bear, or maybe even a person. I eventually turned off the lantern and tried to sleep. Hours later, Reggie started growling and howling. I listened carefully and could hear someone whistling. It was the kind of whistle people use to call a dog. The whistling turned into a clicking noise. Then footsteps started getting closer to the tent until they stopped right outside. Reggie went ballistic, barking and howling. I yelled in a deep voice, "You better get out of here, I have a gun." The footsteps faded away into the darkness. Reggie kept growling for an hour after that. Out in the distance, I heard a woman scream echoing through the forest. It sounded like someone screaming for their life. I grabbed Reggie, my flashlight, and my boots and ran back to my truck as fast as I could. I slept in my truck that night and returned to the campsite at dawn to gather my belongings. I disassembled my tent and loaded everything into the truck. I didn't care if anything was missing. I just wanted to leave. Once I had cell reception, I called a non-emergency police number to report the scream and the suspicious people. I don't know what became of any of that, but I never returned to go camping there again. The forest remained silent after I left, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something sinister was there. I kept replaying the scream in my head, wondering what happened to the woman I heard that night. My beagle Reggie seemed on edge for days after the trip, as if he too sensed the danger we barely escaped. The police said they would investigate, but I never heard back about what they found in the woods. Camping had always been my escape, but now I don't think I'll ever go back to the woods alone again. The woods held secrets that I'll never understand, and I've learned to respect their mysteries. Reggie saved me that night, and I'm grateful I had him by my side in such a terrifying situation. I still can't believe how close I came to danger. It was a lesson I'll never forget. Nature has a way of reminding us how small we are and how quickly things can change. I still love camping, but now I take every precaution and never let my guard down. Night in the woods will forever stay with me as a reminder of how fragile our safety can be.